Hello, everybody. I know this is, just us being fucking crazy, but welcome to the wind down of the Sunday stream. And I am delighted to be joined by Mr. Comrade Thomas. Thomas, say hello.
Hello, people.
John Cooper. Good job, John Cooper. And
oh, apologies. Sorry.
Too late, mate. You just missed it. And Angels and Cameron. Angels and Cameron. YouTube nerds, what are you doing there? I mean, honestly. Flirtating. Is that even a word? Flirtatiously hanging around in the bottom left-hand corner. Hang on. Angels, what are you doing on the left? But that's another story. Let's go on. Hello, everybody. Bob Elvis, Average Joe. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I need to ask the guys on the panel now.
Oh my God, John Cooper, please.
Sorry, what?
Your background noise is insane.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, you need. I will put you on mute if you.
Sorry.
If you carry on. You guys again, Average Joe, Bob Elvis, everybody, welcome to the Sunday stream Cool Down with guests. I don't think you guys are guests to me right now. I would say your family.
Oh, listen to the loving. I love it.
It is a bit of a loving. Angels, yeah, and Thomas and Cameron. John Cooper, like, you can fuck off, but everybody else. I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing.
Okay.
Yeah. This is open to you. This is your time, I suppose. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I actually missed quite a lot of the beginning of the stream, but I just was wondering what I missed in the meantime.
I can't
Thomas?
remember, if I'm honest.
I know I don't remember either.
Well, I do have a tweet I sent to Captain Swiss, but it wasn't talked about in the stream, so I guess we could talk about it here. It's about
there's actually one thing we could talk about: Angel's Brexit article that you never got the opportunity to share.
Right. Hold on. Let me find it again.
I've also sent you something, Cham, to talk about.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's do the John Cooper thing.
Sorry. Angels first.
No, it's okay actually, because Swiss says that he's going to cover it. It's nothing that major. It's just more Brexit damage.
Okay, for me, okay, fair enough. Mine's also similar Brexit, but it's about the Manchester Mayor, Andy Burnham.
Oh, okay. Chamchi, do you want to bring that up if he sent you the
article? So you got the article?
Yeah, I just sent the link to your Twitter thing.
My twits.
Yeah, sorry.
Really? To my twits. Right. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. So in the meantime, while I round this up, out of interest, how did you guys find the Sunday stream? Was it fun? Did you?
Let's see
how we. Quite fun.
I enjoyed it. Granted, I got a bit focused on the comments more than what was being said on the stream because a certain someone appeared, but let's see.
I think a certain someone may appear now.
Yeah.
It was painful for me, but what a surprise.
Let's see. Well, granted, I did have a little bit of a panic because it seems like I was being mentioned for doing something wrong on the stream, and I realized, oh my goodness, I did something accidental. I'm the vegan, and there's
your tit.
Okay. So are you ready? So let's look at this article that Mr. John Cooper has sent us. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Labour's Andy Burnham slams arrogant second Brexit vote campaigners. Ooh, that's quite a an interesting first line. Andy Burnham has rubbished arrogant calls for a second Brexit referendum amid reports of fresh pressures to Labour to back a new vote. And look at him forcing his thumb in people's faces. That means he means business. This is the proper presidential pose. Look at his... anyway, I thought it was funny. Fuck off. The Greater Manchester Mayor and former Labour leadership contender, said campaigners should be focused on a practical bridge building exit from the European Union instead of pushing for a referendum on whatever deal the UK ends up striking with the EU. To be honest, he's got a fucking point, mate. He told Politico, "My frustrations with those leaping to a second referendum is the further it further inflames this idea of an arrogant political class, which isn't listening and isn't dealing with the issues that gave rise to referendum in the first place." And he does actually have a point. Hang on a minute, Mr. John Cooper.
Yeah.
Do you really think that Andy Burnham has some political nous? Is this what this article is alluding to?
I'm not sure. I just thought it would be an interesting discussion because, let's see, mainly because he was one of the, let's say, four original contenders for like the 2015 election. And
He was indeed. But he be on off the back of losing that, he's still got the mayorship of Manchester.
Yeah, but no offense to Andy Burnham, but you could put. I've said this before about any Labour candidate. You could really put.
Oh, now he speaks up. Now he speaks up. When someone actually fucking talks to you directly, you don't want to talk. But now we're like in the second fucking stream tonight. Now you want to talk.
Where did you appear, Jay?
I've just joined.
Like, where have you been?
Oh, right, okay.
I've just joined.
Out of nowhere.
I went to go and grab a sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
I am allowed to do other things. Anyway, what I'm going to say is that... No. What I was going to say was... with Andy Burnham is great, he's a Manchester mayor, but if I ran as a Labour candidate for the Greater Manchester, I probably got the same amount of vote. It's not like a massive.
I know.
Anyway,
totally. I agree. It's very, very difficult, especially when the government is actually Tory. But anyway, moving on from that, he told Political, "My frustration with those leaping to a second referendum is it further inflames this idea of an arrogant political class, which isn't listening and it isn't dealing with the issue that gave rise to the referendum in the first place." Oh, that's interesting. If we can compare that to Angels and how, sometimes democracy gets it wrong. My frustrations
and
with those leaping to a second referendum is the further inflames. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I don't want a second referendum. I never wanted a first referendum, let alone a second one. I mean,
I've still been of the view that what we need is the most pragmatic, practical, and bridge-building Brexit.
That's an oxymoron in itself. No, exactly
right. You're exactly right. The intervention from the former Labour frontrunner came amid reports of the People's Vote campaign, which is calling for a second referendum. Is targeted Labour members of the party's annual conference next month in a bid to pressure the leadership into supporting a fresh vote. The party has said it respects the result of the 2016 Brexit referendum, but a string of front benchers have pointedly refused to rule out backing out another vote. What front benchers would they be, Thomas?
What?
What front benches would they be?
Which front benches?
The party has said it respects the result of 2016 Brexit referendum, but a string of front benchers have pointedly refused to rule out backing
Well,
Keir Starmer. Basically, Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer, you reckon?
Yeah.
One of them, yeah.
Owen
Corbyn,
Jones,
actually.
the Northern
Always
Irish
been there.
secretary, he got sacked for wanting a second referendum.
Yeah, Corbyn
Owen
actually.
Smith, you mean?
Owen Smith,
Yeah,
Owen
yeah.
Jones.
YouGov Sunday Mirror poll commissioned by People's Vote, meanwhile, found strong support for another referendum among Labour target voters, with 59% of those who say they might or would seriously consider backing Jeremy Corbyn's party also supported a vote on the final Brexit deal. But Shadow International Trade Secretary Barry Gardiner, among those who strongly opposed to a second recommended referendum, warning last week that a fresh vote could give, what does that say? Secure to the extreme right and lead to civil disobedience. Well, I kind of agree with Barry Gardiner. I mean, this entire thing. If you do have a people's vote, it will be diluting the original vote. Full stop. When you talk about democracy, you're talking about diluting democracy right now.
But the thing is, does that mean we should? What about if we go back to this issue in 15 years' time? Should we have a vote in 15 years' time? Should we have a vote in 20 years' time? Won't you be diluting the vote? Because it's quite likely we'll have another EU referendum whenever. It might not be this year, next year, it might be in 15, 20 years' time. But the argument of saying it would dilute the vote is wrong. Well, I think it's quite obvious.
Also demographics do change, and
indeed, I completely agree with you.
Turning 18.
I think if there is going to be another vote on entry into Europe and how we're going to deal with it, I think it should be settled on a general election, not on another multiple choice fucking people's choice fucking Brexit.
People's vote.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit.
Carry on, Cam.
Oh, Cameron?
The issue of all this, how can you have a referendum without just saying the results of it? What purpose is the referendum? What purpose is there?
There is no purpose. It shouldn't have been called in the first place. It's bullshit.
Also, there's something else about this. Now, when you call this a referendum, who are you going to prove right? Is it going to be you or is it going to be Nigel? People like Nigel Farage, people like Boyce, who went about with their followers and say these things such as, all right, we knew it. They never let us leave in the first place. And the British damage is all against us. They ignore us before knocks again. What are you going to do is vindicate them, prove them right. So basically, it's going to be counterproductive in the long term.
But yeah, indeed, and the problem is so say for instance on the people's vote. So what options, Angels? This is a question to you. If you had the people's vote, what options would you have on the ballot?
I think I'd have ranked choice system for a start.
Okay.
So your first preference and your second preference, and then I would have Remain, take the shit deal, or crash out.
Okay, so you got 3 options there.
Yeah.
There should be 3 options.
Okay, so how are you going to get plus 50% on any of those options?
You don't have to if there's 3. You only.
Well, surely, like if say for instance, no matter which one gets the majority, that's going to muddy the waters, isn't it?
Yeah, but the likelihood is as well is that would end up being a deal, because Remainers would put Remaining first and a deal second, and Leavers would put probably crash out first and deal second, or deal first. Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of it.
Remember, all Brexiters are not necessarily hard Brexiters either. So it's like, there are plenty of people that want to but still want a deal.
It's the thing, right? You centrist and like You really don't understand the Lexit position. Do you?
How about
I
this?
tried to lay this out to you like earlier today, mate. I literally went on diatribe, and you said I was on form, mate. Honestly,
How
do you want me
about
to lay it out
this?
to you again? But
No,
Thomas,
you've
go
already
on.
done. Thomas, yeah.
How about
What
this as a... Go on, Cameron.
What if you get to some people? Why should we free choices? So people say it's such a complex issue. It can't be solved with two my choices. What are the odds? If you're gonna have it, what you do is do something different. You give people a real choice. What you do, you have Labour propose a deal and draft it into legislation. So you have that as an option. You have the EEA as an option. You have EFTA as an option. You have the Chequers deal as an option. You have a hard Brexit, but not no deal. A Kansas side deal. Then you have a no deal as an option. And then nobody can complain at the result.
And of course, on top of that, indeed, on top of that, what you're basically going to do is you're going to split the community again, right? You know how fucking toxic.
It'd be that choice. It'd be like AV. So basically, if this happens, like I said, what we end up having is probably a Labour deal. If this happens, or probably.
How about this as a compromise sort of position? You have your like 3 choice or 4 choice, like however many choice options you have, but it's a 2-round voting system. So if neither option gets 50% of the vote, the 2 options that get the most votes go to the second round, upheld about a week or 2 afterwards.
Like they do in France with the presidential thing.
Exactly, just like in France.
Honestly, when it comes to people's vote, I think more Leavers and would be a bit more accepting of it if it was guaranteed that the 2 options were like either hard Brexit or soft Brexit. But who knows? But that's just, I think that might be.
What the people who campaign for this people do are not Brexiteers. The same people who lost the first referendum, who fanatical in their ideology. Can't see
I thought the people's vote was being supported by all sorts. I thought that there was actually a majority for a people's vote now.
It's dispute. It's random. There's a lot of polls. Some said it is. Majority said it is not.
I don't know about majority, but I think more people favour it than more people oppose it.
Because I guess it's because they want to see what's in front of it. They want to know the deal and be able to have a say if they think it's really shit or not.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, if you think of it in that sense, I suppose it's not that much to ask, but I still don't want one. I just hate referenda. We should never have had the first one.
I partly think reason I think some Leavers are skeptic about it is because it hasn't been given specifically clear what the people's vote is going to imply, I guess. I mean, at least that's what I've seemed to take from Captain Swiss's video about the whole people's vote thing this week.
Well, people compare for all minutes. That's what they are. You won't find many Leavers who are campaigning out campaign for them. It's really a second referendum on your membership. But first different.
I mean, I don't know whether there are any Leavers that want another vote. Apparently there are, from what I've read, but I don't know who they are or how many of them there are.
Well, Uncle Nige was in favour of a people's vote until he flip-flopped on it.
Hang on. Is this Uncle Nige that's one of the biggest working man's hero?
Yeah, he's
the biggest working class hero in this country at the moment is Jacob's tree frog.
Really? Is he a tree frog?
Indeed, he is.
He's truly a man of the working class.
If you look at the @HeroMog Twitter account, you will see that he is frequently down in the pits with the average working class person and talking to them about how they want a hard Brexit and the far right prime minister and a whole bunch of shit.
Yes, he's a true man of the people. That one.
He is indeed.
Does make me laugh. Have you not seen him hold a pint? Says Arijo in the side chat. That's my boy Nige. Yeah, you see,
Exactly.
this, like, did you not realise that's what makes somebody a working class hero, man of the people?
Exactly.
You know, anti-establishment. That, you know, they can smoke, they can drink a pint, and then that makes them a working class hero. Oh, and they can throw some dead fish into the Thames.
Exactly. That's all it takes. I mean, it doesn't matter the fact that he went to Dulwich College, which is one of the most prestigious colleges in the country. It doesn't
And that he's
matter
a millionaire ex-precious metals trader.
Yeah, and that he had a fine career in the City of London as well, and that he boasted about how he drove around Enoch Powell and was his chauffeur because he was the only person who had a Jaguar.
And how he's a Thatcherite as well, through and through.
And he's
I mean, you would think. Let's see. You think working class would be a bit skeptic of Farage just for that, because if anyone has a reason to hate Thatcherites, it'd be the working class.
I think Bubblefuss in the side chat sums it up best. Tommy is the working class hero, I assume Tommy Robinson, and Nige is the working class uncle. Exactly, Bubblefuss. Exactly right.
The thing about now, Farage, the reason why people were, let's say, seduced by someone who's quote unquote Thatcherite is because Labour enjoys the Thatcherite line on many issues. In many ways, they're bound the working class to Labour. Which is why working class turn away and look elsewhere. What was perceived as anti-establishment alternatives, which is why UKIP was on the rise. Kurbinski New Labour abandoned people. You remember the old new newspapers? He said, look, New Labour and the Conservatives, they're both the same, wrote UKIP. And that person really caught on.
But do you think that they're dead now, somewhat, even with a small resurgence?
Yes and no. They have the potential to come back temporarily. If not reforged back leader, and if Brexit gets scuppered, they'll come back.
My view on UKIP is basically this. I don't think they will ever gain a seat in Parliament, but I believe in certain marginals in this country, they can take enough votes away from the Tories in certain seats to allow Labour to get in and give Corbyn, the ability to form a government.
So you're saying they're not a bad thing?
No, not necessarily.
But I mean, they won't only take votes. Won't they also take Labour Heartland's voters?
They very rarely do. If you look at how the UKIP vote broke down, the vast majority of it went back to the Conservative Party. As I've said with UKIPers before, your average UKIPper is a person who was a former Conservative voter that was unhappy with the socially liberal, pro-European direction that David Cameron took the party in, and so went to a traditionalist, Eurosceptic political party, and that's what UKIP and Nigel Farage were offering them.
You mean socially conservative as well?
Yes, indeed.
That's not say the truth. There's a regional splits in this. Labour in this around here, lost a lot of votes to UKIP, and the Conservative vote actually got split quite evenly. So it depends where you are. Generally, more Labour areas. More traditional working class votes. And if you're more conservative areas, that's the case. It's not necessarily completely conservative.
If you look at the council elections and how they broke down last time, the reason why the Tories did not do as badly as they were expecting to do is because of UKIP, because most of those seats went Tory. And that's the point I'm making. 9 times out of 10, or 7 times out of 10 more accurately, UKIPers will vote Tory.
No, that's not the case. Look at this election, in many constituencies, Labour and UKIP votes.
Back in 1 second, guys.
Labour and Conservative vote got even amount of UKIP vote. It's not necessarily the case. Look at the location of the council elections. A lot of them weren't in very strong Labour. Like, a lot of areas where the swung were marginals, like Walsall and Nuneaton. If you look, when they get council election around here, UKIP is around here all over for the Labour. Hands down as well. In 2020, last in 2020. Not necessarily. It depends. It's a regional thing. Really depends where you are.
Wow, it's really exciting on this channel. Can I just say thank you to Bob Ovis, Cameron Hitman, and Average Joe, obviously join us, and obviously John Cooper. I would like to see people that are not actually joining me on the panel, actually listening to us. That might be quite cool. But my question to most of you guys, Thomas and Angels. I know Angels, you really only caught the last 20 minutes. I don't mean to be so aggressive, but do you understand why I get very what's the word? I suppose emotional when it comes to especially austerity and the way the Conservatives actually push austerity, because it is an ideological idea rather than a need. They push it as a need, but it's not. It's an ideological idea.
Yeah.
You'll get no arguments from me over that.
Fair enough.
Well, I was expecting some kind of comment. I mean, for fuck's sake.
I
I tell you what, I think this was an article. I'm not sure if he's sharing it. It's about century. You don't share it.
Did we even get onto the Brexit thing, or was that Angel's article? It was about Andy Burnham.
No, we're on Andy Burnham still. We still haven't gone to Angel's article. Though granted, apparently she's saving it for Swiss.
Okay.
Where did Mr. Fielding go?
All right. Okay. Here's an idea for you, right? I'm gonna have a debate with James next week. Okay, so on Wednesday probably. What do you think we should debate about?
I suppose
Anti-Semitism.
I suppose maybe the leadership and movements, I guess, would be one topic. Because
dude, are you deaf, mate? Honestly, we've already addressed that. So I mean, that's a dead issue, right?
Okay.
I will tell you, because I'm actually quite proud of it. I think it actually rings true. So I will read it one more time. Like, I have spoken and written at length of the ideas of Corbyn and the Labour Party, and the MSN would have their way. Corbyn would resign his post, and we would be without a leader. My question to the Socialist Sunday is, and we are not a person, we are a movement. We are not a politician, we are a peoples. We are not an organization, we are society. They call us plebs, utopians, and my favorite, the great unwashed. We are not a person, we are not a leader, we are not a politician, we are a movement. And in the words of the immortal Obi-Wan, if you strike us down now, we will become more powerful than you can ever imagine. Taking it on one step further, being a socialist means many things to many people. But personally, I feel the main premise of socialism is the idea I can create more for our society as a collective than we could ever do individually. Our NHS, our transport system, our world-class education shows what can be done collectively. So why would you vote for Corbyn? As a community, as a country, as a nation, we are being threatened by numerous existential threats. The threat of automation, which will displace millions of jobs over the next 5 to 10 years. The threat of Brexit, that will destroy the UK economy. And of course, the threat of global warming. Moving on from the 2017 Labour manifesto and Corbyn's Birmingham industrial speech, JC's Labour party seems to be the only party looking to mitigate these threats to our society. So my question is, why wouldn't you vote for Corbyn?
Well, I suppose the only ones that would consider, let's say, would not consider voting for Corbyn is they're just like the status quo, or they generally believe he's a threat to Jewish people. I mean, that's think of.
Sorry, what?
I said the only two reasons I can think of someone who would not vote for Corbyn is that they like the status quo, or they seriously believe he's a threat to Jewish people.
Okay, status quo. That's interesting. So, why is that?
Guys, I'm going to rejoin from my phone shortly because I have to pop out very quickly, get some wine.
So yeah. I don't really understand your question, but yeah, go on, carry on.
That's it. Well, I suppose for status quo, they assume. I suppose some people think that anyone that isn't regarded as what has been labelled as moderate or centrist is too extreme and could potentially cause damage to this country. And apparently, Jeremy Corbyn is considered very far to the left. Well, at least he's a lot left-wing than previous Labour leaders for the last few decades, to be fair. But that's just one reason I can think of.
There's this interesting thing, right? And there's this interesting idea, and I like David Graeber, like actually said it. I'm reading one of his books at the moment, and it's quite brilliant. So the idea is that politicians are in the center, right? This is the idea of the Overton window, right? Politicians are in the center, right?
Yeah.
Everybody on the panel.
Yeah,
right.
Generally.
Now, the problem is that there is a disconnection by the populace and the politicians, right? Okay. Now we all understand this, right? There is always a disconnection. Yes.
Yeah.
What David Graeber actually says it's now what he says is generally people, or i.e. the people you meet on the streets, generally they're either on the far left or the far right. People generally are on the far left, right? Full stop. But what the mainstream media tends to do is convince you that everybody's actually in the center, and if you are on the far left, then you're a fucking idiot. Yeah. And I thought that was a really, really interesting point of view. I don't think it's right, but it rings true to a certain extent. Like if you're outside the Overton window, then you must be a radical. Then you're a fucking idiot. And that's the kind of fucking radical ideals that I kind of, at least now I've got something to grab hold of and say, well, I would like to say no, but I think you're right. That's very, very interesting. What do you think about it, Thomas?
Well,
it's an interesting thought, isn't it?
It is an interesting thought. I don't agree with this idea that people are in the center, quote unquote, because people.
No. This is the difference. This is the idea that David Graeber is like putting across. Nobody's in the center, right? So you're either on the far right, or the far left, and the thing is, right? The easy way to find out whether you're on the far right or the far left is just to check out your wallet. How much money's in there?
But that doesn't tell me where you are.
How much money you got in your wallet?
Well, that makes most people what they're saying. That does not determine their ideology. They can be very far. They can be just as far right. The issue of all this is people are very complex beings. Most people think of one issue and stick to it as the main issue in an election. Like, let's say you commute to work every day, and the biggest flaw in your life.
No. Exactly right. You're exactly right. Like let's take the last general election, right? Anybody would tell you in the last general election, if you were a socialist, you're a fucking nutcase. But it turns out nearly 50% of the population fucking voted socialist, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely, completely discarded every kind of political fucking person that they even had an idea about it, you know? This is the thing. The mainstream media will make you think that it's all centrist. It's all centrist. They can slag off the right, they can slag off the left. They're all centrist. As long as they get paid, they're gonna give a fuck. You know?
Hmm.
But the Overton window's fucking changed, man. And yes, you're right. Let's have a look at this fucking side chat. I've changed my pick, though I'm currently Chamchi Gimbab. It's true. The MSN never dares to discuss leftist or racist topics from a fair perspective, and I think this is true. If you're outside of the Overton window, then you're fucked, really.
If you're wondering what I mean about changing my pick, let's see, Blood Velvet was like my dotted eye once, so I changed my Twitter thing to my Twitter and my Hangouts channel Fritzy picture to that of a black squirrel.
Well, like I don't give a fuck what your avatar is, you know.
Yeah, no, it's just
so like what I'm going to ask you now is being a socialist means many things to many people, but personally I feel the premise of socialism is the idea that we can create more of our society as a collective, such as our NHS, our transport system, our world-class education shows what can be done collectively. I wonder how you feel about socialism, full stop.
Let's see. Well, from my understanding of socialism, and this is partly influenced by Jonathan Pye, is that socialism is where it recognizes that the state needs to intervene in a capitalist society. Otherwise, otherwise untouched, you could lead to all kinds of problems when I'm trying to think. Let's see. Okay, let me rephrase it. Let's see. From where I see it, from what I've been influenced by Pye, and from what I've seen of socialism is a socialism where the state at times needs to intervene and play a part in like public spending and all that stuff, like nationalization, public services like the NHS. Let's see, the mail, transport. Let's see. Rather than have private companies screw it over and all that stuff.
That's interesting. So, I mean, it's not the socialism I've ever heard of, but it's quite interesting.
Let me have this book somewhere. Let's see. I'll find. Let me see if I can find what you put as the definition of socialism.
There is no definition of socialism, like I said. Socialism, or being a socialist, means many things to many people.
Oh yeah. To a southern right winger in America, it probably means communism or Stalinism. I'm making a joke. Sorry, I know it's poor, but hey.
But we're not talking about Stalinism. Stalinism is completely, different.
Yeah.
Communism, in fact, is different. What I'm asking you is, what do you think of socialism, and are you a socialist?
Let's see. I think for me, I guess socialism is like public ownership of stuff. Let's see, a check on capitalism. and a fairer society.
Fairer society. I think that's where you nailed it, mate. Absolutely nailed it. You know, I think being a socialist is about a fairer society. You know, where everybody is equality of access. You know, surely. You know.
Socialism. The definition is based on a lot of debates about it, but I'm thinking the definition I remember, which is the best one, is from the Cambridge Dictionary, which says a set of beliefs that all people should be equal and should share equality in a country's money or political systems based on those beliefs. That's the best definition of my opinion. And that's from the Cambridge Dictionary.
Let's see.
That in a way sets the basis of what socialists believe in. Socialists, Blair wrote the course for. We call it Labour Social Democratic Party. But there's Blair go by his beliefs. But I think the best definition of what socialism is, and the danger of a socialist, what they do, is just a definition. I would say. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think I do understand that, but I think the greatest kind of example of how socialism works would be the NHS.
Fair enough. I found my book, and I found the footnote in which Jonathan Pye describes socialism. He defines socialism is defined as cooperative, social, and governmental ownership of the means of production and distribution, as opposed to a competitive free market system. Not sure if you agree with that assessment, but that's how it.
No, it's fair enough.
That's a complete definition. No, that's probably one of the best ways to achieve it.
Okay. But yeah. But yeah. I mean, I suppose socialism is a fair society.
Fairer society. I mean, this is the idea. I mean, like we try to strive for a fairer society. On that note, I'm really sorry, but I need to go to bed, which means I'm gonna end this stream.
Okay. I can go live if you want.
Sorry?
I can go live and take over from his channel.
Oh, really? Yeah. Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, if you get enough people in favor of it, I will.
Okay, guys. Like, I'm really sorry, but I'm really tired because it's like, it's 3 a.m. here in Korea, and I have work. You know, I need to teach some random people English, apparently. So yeah. Anyway, apparently I've got a job to do tomorrow. They didn't tell me about it, but yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Let's see. Nice to finally be on your channel, champ. Oh, wait, I actually wasn't your channel.
Thank you for being here. Actually, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And let us have a final thought. And Bubble Viss and John Cooper, Average Joe. I have spoken at length on the ideas of Corbyn and the Labour Party.
Yeah.
And if the MSM would have their way, Corbyn would resign his post and we would be without a leader.
Oh, yeah.
My question is, on this Socialist Sunday, and we are not a person, we are a movement. We are not a politician, we are a peoples. We are not an organization, we are a society. They call us plebs, utopiates, and my favorite, the great unwashed. We are not a person, we are not a leader, we are not a politician, we are a movement. And the words of the immortal Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you strike us down now, will become more powerful than you will ever imagine. Okay. Being a socialist means many things to many people, but personally, I feel the main premise of socialism is the idea that I can create more for our society as a collective. Our NHS, our transport system, our world-class education shows what can be done collectively. So why would you vote for Corbyn? As a community, a country, a nation, we are being threatened by numerous existential threats. The threat of automation, which will displace millions of jobs, 5 to 10 years, the threat of Brexit that will destroy the UK economy, and of course, the threat of global warming. Moving on from the 2017 Labour manifesto and Corbyn's Birmingham industrial speech, JC's Labour Party seems to be the only party looking to mitigate these threats to our society. So my question is, why wouldn't you vote for Jeremy Corbyn? And this is to you in the side chat as well. Why wouldn't you vote for JC?
Well, I want Jeremy Corbyn in because I think he will at least try and at least make this country a lot better than it is.
Indeed. Thank you very much for you guys to meet us in the side chat and stuff. Sign off, John and Cameron. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. Hopefully in a bit I'll do a stream. Depending on how many people get to join, I'll do one. I enjoyed being in here for a short period of time. Thank you.
Why don't you put it to the wider electorate, on Twitter, on the twits?
I will.
Okay. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. Are we still live?
Yes, we're still live. Hang on.
Muggly.
Shut up. I know, right? Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Stop.